All right, thank you for joining us once again on the network service of the NTA, and this is Newsline. So let's start this way. We know there's a saying that hunger has a way of silencing childhood, and sadly, a large number of our children face daily uncertainty of where the next meal will come from. Now, for some, the consequences go beyond an empty stomach, leading to malnutrition, stunted growth, weakened immunity, and increased vulnerability to diseases. But while government interventions continue, addressing the challenge they say would require a collective effort. But one individual in the Federal Capital Territory is making a big difference by reaching out to vulnerable children in internally displaced persons' camps and undeserved or underserved communities, helping to combat hunger and malnutrition, one child at a time, she says. Our own mom, so Damian-Tati, it's back, and she tells us more. And this story is, of course, brought to you courtesy of Solution Journalism Report.
This is New Kuchingoro IDP camp in Abuja. Most of the residents here relocated from Borno and Bauchi states due to insecurity. For over 10 years, many of these settlers have been subjected to living under harsh conditions, in tents, and managing life. Worst of all is the level of hunger experienced here, as most cannot access decent jobs to provide for their families.
I have twins girls. At times they will be hungry. We will not have anything to eat in the house. We'll be so hungry that they will start running temperature. I have looked for job in this estate so many a times. When I go with them, they will say, because of the children, we don't want the children to suffer. No.
Reports indicate that in Nigeria, over 37% of children under 5 are stunted. About 7% suffer from wasting and malnutrition, which contributes to nearly half of all deaths among children under 5, highlighting the severe impact of hunger in vulnerable communities like this.
Times maybe you collect even this corn flour from your neighbor, you just beg and just do it like pap, you give them to drink. There's no nutrient in it.
Pushed by circumstance into a situation they never envisaged, then came an answer to silent prayers and wishes.
I saw that many people are hungry. I have once been hungry. I know what it means for a mother to come back home and there is no food to give her children.
This woman came 2020, 6 years today. She told me that she wants to help our children. She wants to cook food for them for every Saturday. So since that time she started coming every Saturday. She used to come and cook food here, share for our children.
I saw a woman with 2 children, about 4 years and 2 years children, crying. So somebody told me that the husband has gone to the farm for like 2 weeks, is not yet back. Ba Binchi, and I know that Ba Binchi, there's no food. 6 years every Saturday. Whether I'm in Nigeria, whether I'm not in Nigeria, whether I'm in Abuja, whether I'm not in Abuja, my volunteers, they do it.
From every corner of the IDP camp, as soon as the aroma begins to permeate the air, they start trickling towards the direction of the kitchen.
I came here to collect the stealing kitchen food.
We don't have anything to give her. We are just telling her thank you. The food that they reach, I like it, but the food too sweet.
What started as a feeding plan for only children soon expanded to household community feeding.
All of us, while we're there for Kuchingoro here, mommy, she's always cooking, share for our children, even us.
But it hasn't been easy. Dr. Mary Rose confides that there is no institutional backing or large-scale donor support. The program depends heavily on her salary income, her husband, and a few individuals.
Severally, I have emptied my account to feed the hungry in the society.
Though brief, it's a vital interruption in the circle of hunger. And Dr. Mary Rose is a reminder that while the scale of the problem is vast, meaningful change often begins with showing up, noticing what is missing, and choosing to act anyway.
And of course, that story is brought to you courtesy Solution journalism report. And of course, giving children food is one part. Providing them with vocational skills is also another part. And that is becoming an important part of preparing young people for the world of work. Now, from tailoring and shoemaking to their trade, to other trades, like skills acquisition is equipping many Nigerians with practical knowledge for self-reliance while complementing formal education. In our next report, Haruna Mohammed will tell us how some youths in Kaduna are supporting themselves with proceeds of vocational training while staying in school.
Every creativity begins with skills, a practical ability that turns education into action. Also, skill is an investment that continues to yield returns long after it is acquired. Here in Kaduna State, many young people are acquiring vocational skills to build a more secure future and earn a living. From tailoring to shoemaking, aluminium fabrication, and other trades, they are learning practical skills that not only provide income but also prepare them to start businesses and create jobs for others. Ayomide Zainab Musbao is a fashion designer, while Ahmed Mohammed and Sani Ahmed are into aluminium fabrication. They are among students combining vocational training with their academic studies.
When I work, my Oga he's giving me some money to buy some noodles, or see my phone safe. I bought it and he gave me the money. So transportation for school, he gave me.
I'm used to doing shoemaking for my business and to pay my school fees and the rest.
Secondary school graduate, and I come to be a tailor, and it's very happy to work as to get some of my things by my side.
The shift aligns with the federal government's renewed advocacy for young Nigerians to acquire vocational skills alongside their academic qualifications to enhance employability and reduce dependence on white-collar jobs. As more youth embrace skills acquisition, stakeholders believe Nigeria is gradually building a generation of innovative, self-reliant citizens capable of driving economic growth from the grassroots.
When I'm in school, I use it for most of things. The family try, but in the job, it helped me mostly more than the family, man. So far, so good. I'm owner of my own house.
I graduated from Open University. I do computer science. So with this business, I don't even think I will work government work. If I say I will calculate my gain for 30 days, if customers are coming, I'm even equivalent to, let's say, a level 14 worker.
As lucrative as the creative industry may look, it is not an all-comer. But for Sani Ahmed and Muhammad Ahmed, they are now better positioned as students and aluminium fabricators already putting food on their table.
Indeed, vocational skills can keep our young ones very busy, but there's also another layer of responsibility, especially when the school bell goes silent during the holidays. The task of raising responsible children will continue. Of course, it is an exciting period for our children, but fresh demands for parents with more time spent at home than the classroom. It is a period that many, child development experts say calls for intentional parental guidance and supervision. So how best can our children be engaged during this period? And that's what Halima Babale finding it's all about, and it's presented from our studio.
Early hours of the morning, and Naeem making most of his holiday, unwinding, watching television before heading out to play football with his friends. School holidays provide children an opportunity to rest after months of academic activities. However, while the break offers relief from early mornings, homework, and classroom routines, it also requires parents to pay closer attention to their children's activities.
After closing from my job, I'll come home and, advise them that there is a need for them to study their book, despite the fact that they are no longer, in school.
Sometimes I buy toy for them. Sometimes I buy cartoon for them. Something that will make them committed to education.
For Oluwatoyin Habib, the holiday is not a time to suspend learning completely. Her children attend summer lessons while still having time to rest and play.
There are a lot of activities at summer camp. There are teachers there. They learn some skills there too. So I can have time to do my own daily runs while they are also, being occupied with knowledgeable things, skillful things.
How can parents strike the balance between giving children freedom and ensuring their safety during the holidays?
Children need freedom to explore, to develop independence as well as building confidence. But that freedom should always come with clear boundaries and open communication from parent. Parents can strike the right balance by setting simple rules, engage in safe and meaningful activities such as reading, sport and family outings, monitoring children's online activities, especially in these areas of internet and so much immoral and activities that goes on in the social media, most especially.
Well, it seems parental responsibility does not end because schools are on holidays.
I restrict them in the room. I don't allow them to move. I make sure they get to do with their television and watch cartoons and other stuff. So instead of going around, I don't even allow them to go out.
Parents can help children make good use of the break while staying safe. Remember the popular saying, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
All right, now some occupations are shaped as much by culture as by skill. Now, breaking stones is a trade traditionally reserved for men and younger boys, of course, in many parts of northern Nigeria. Yet in Dutse, some women have made it their means of livelihood too, challenging long-held perceptions. Larry Musa reports that among these women is a widow and a mother of 10 who now shoulders the responsibility of providing for her children alone.
Rock can be many things, but to Adama Hamza, it is a source of hope. Not every opportunity comes wrapped in comfort. Such is the case of this widow and mother of 10. It comes in the form of solid rock. Adama chooses a path many in her community once consider the preserve for men. For more than 7 years, she earns a living by crushing stones.
I joined the business out of necessity to feed my 10 children, and thankfully it helped us get a means of livelihood.
She says all it takes is a hammer, a container, and the determination to work. The rocky hills of Dutse provide the raw materials, while hard work turns them into a source of income. Every day, Adama and other men, women, and young people gather at different rock sites with hammers and other simple tools. They break large rocks into smaller stones used for building construction and road projects. The work is physically demanding. Dust fills the air, the sun is unforgiving, and the risk of injury is ever present. Yet, more women are joining the trade, driven by the responsibility of providing for their families and the determination to earn an honest living.
Last time, I fell from the top of the rock, resulting in having dislocation in my waist. But I have no choice but to continue with the business. We want government support in providing us with hand gloves, eyeglass for protection and other materials.
Each blow of the hammer is more than an effort to break a rock. It is an effort to meet family needs, pay school fees, and put food on the table. The crushed stones find their way to builders and contractors, making the work an important part of the construction industry. Beyond providing income for workers, the trade supports businesses and contributes to local economy. So, when next you drive or walk a rock, remember, It is not just nature's creation, but a source of living for many. And as long as this hill stands, they will continue to offer people willing to do the hard work a chance to build not only roads and houses, but also better lives for themselves and their families.
Indeed, every strike of that hammer goes beyond cutting the stones. It is a strike to piece her life together and provide also for her family. And nature does have a way of providing for her own. You're watching Newsline. Please don't go away. We're taking a short break. We have much more when we come back. All right, thank you for rejoining us. And each year, as the rains return to soften the earth and awaken the rivers, so Shogbo ushers in a season rooted in faith, tradition, and ancestral heritage. Now, along the banks of the sacred Oshun River, devotees and tourists gathered to renew an age-old bond with the divine, of course, deity. Now, Kaide Oladoso reports that some use the annual Oshun Oshogbo festival to seek spiritual blessings, while others seize the occasion to showcase their businesses and experience the richness of the Yoruba culture.
From the rhythmic beat of talking drums to the colorful display of traditional attire, every path leading to the Oshun Sacred Grove tells the story of people deeply connected to their culture and spirituality. At the spiritual center of the celebration are traditional priests and priestesses who chant echo through the sacred grove as they perform age-long rituals. For the past 26 years, Oshunmurewa Oshunkolade has been coming to the annual Oshun Oshogbo Festival. She says the celebration continues to renew her strength and deepen her covenant with the Oshun deity.
This ancestor is the culture of ancestor, and is very same in Brazil.
While Oshunmurewa Oshunkolade continues to embrace her spiritual journey with Oshun, the celebration also provides an avenue for worshippers to reconnect with their roots and trace their heritage to the goddess of fertility. Oshunbumi Olanipekun, the Aruba or a votary maiden, has grown from the young girl who previously needed assistance with the sacred calabash to one now strong enough to carry it herself. This year, she bears the sacred calabash from the palace of the Atauja to the Oshun Sacred Grove. For adherents, the sacred rite represents a renewal of faith and a continuation of a cultural heritage that has been preserved for generations.
We cannot take anything compared to Osogbo because nothing you pray for here, where God will not answer.
And as the drums fall silent and the crowds return home, the spirit of Oshun remains, not only in the sacred grove, but in the hearts of the people. For a culture truly lives when its stories are remembered and its traditions cherished.
All right, we have brought you the heritage that has survived generations. Now let's also bring you people who probably would understand it better. Attaining the age of 100 and in good health is a very rare privilege, and only a few enjoy it. One of those, Paulushola Ajolore, is one of the fortunate individuals who've reached this remarkable milestone. Now, what was life like in his early years, and what lessons has a century of living taught him? Our correspondent Khadijat Akombe spent some quality time with the centenarian, who also shares valuable advice for us Nigerians.
At 100 years old, Pa Olushola Ajolore is still actively working on his farm. He makes mounds and carries out other farming activities with the energy and determination of someone much younger. Despite his age, he performs his daily tasks without assistance. Pa Ajolore attributes his longevity to the grace of God, healthy eating, and regular physical activity through farming and gardening. As it reflects on the state of the nation, the former lecturer at the University of Lagos, pioneer lecturer at Kwara State College of Technology, now Kwara State Polytechnic, and pioneer secretary of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Kwara State Chapter, a position he holds for 22 years, says Nigeria can make greater progress if the constitutional issues affecting national development are addressed.
We who own this country should be allowed, or we would take our responsibility and decide that we want to run our country by a system that we ourselves crafted. We need a new constitution written by us for us.
Pajolore also calls for free and compulsory education up to the senior secondary school level, increased funding for research in universities, and reforms that ensure speedy dispensation of justice.
There are cases that take 10 years, 15 years. It should not be. Please go ahead and employ more judges.
The centenarian welcomes the decision to establish state police.
If you use indigenes as the police, they know the nooks and crannies of their land.
He also urges government to promote indigenous medicine and give greater attention to the welfare of senior citizens.
The peel of an orange, the peel. You know, if you have a match and you squeeze that peel to it, the flame will come up. That's a kind of gas. What are we doing about it? Under the mango tree there, if you go out, plenty of leaves. Isn't there something that the leaves can be used for?
Family members and associates describe Pajolore as a man whose life continues to inspire those around him.
He has a heart for God, and that reflects, in the way he loves people. He loves knowledge, and he loves to share knowledge.
He's a gift of God to humanity.
He has spiritual calling, spiritual discipline, and therefore his moral standard is very high.
A nice father, a very calm man, honest, a good Christian.
As he marks his 100th birthday, Pajolore, who becomes a widower in 1996, prays for good health, renewed strength, and more opportunities to contribute to humanity.
Would you believe that? 100 years? Wow. Anyway, congratulations to him. Now let's move on. And every city, kingdom, and ethnic group has unique names and identities that reflect its history and heritage. And in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, many communities share the distinctive prefix of Rumu in their names, such as Rumola, Rumokuta, and Rumusi, Rumomasi, among others. Curious about the origin and meaning of this naming tradition, Osinachi Samuel visited some strategic locations across the metropolis to uncover the story behind these unique names.
Many first-time visitors in Port Harcourt, the River State capital. One of the first things they notice is the names of many communities, which begin with the prefix Rumu. Such names resonate with the Kwere-speaking people and found in many communities across Port Harcourt and Abia, which originated from the Kwere language.
We are at Rumokuta Junction. This is to find out what is in the Rumu thing and the originality of that name, Rumu. Like we have Rumibo, Rumokuta, Rumola. What is the uniqueness of this name? What is behind it?
It's an inheritance. Every tribe has its own culture, tradition in naming. So Romo means children of their fathers, children of their mothers, children of communities, children of tribes.
These names reflect the Ikwere people's traditional system of naming settlements after their founders, emphasizing ancestry, kingship, and land ownership.
Their father, Apara, had about how many of them? Almost 12 Abi, which is the Rumibo, Rumadolo, Rumola, and so on. Now that Rumu you are seeing means children. So now the original name of one of these children of Aparana is Okuta. Rumu Okuta is the father. The Rumu Okana is one of the sons of Rumu Okuta.
As Port Harcourt expanded to accommodate more people, indigenes and visitors have come to appreciate these unique ways of describing their locations.
And sometimes I find that any place they call name, if you look very well, they use somebody name or whatever that first of all live in that area. So they use that person's name to call that area.
What's the name of this place?
Rumu Okuta.
Do you know the meaning of Rumu Okuta?
No.
I know Rumibo, I know Rumola, I know Nkpolu.
These names, according to the indigenous people of Ukwere, symbolizes geographical identities, preserve history, ancestry, and cultural heritage of the Ukwere people, reflecting traditional system of land ownership and family lineage that existed long before urban development.
Now, amid prayers, Zainab Lawal Hamisu and ASP Yusuf Abdurrahman Shiga were united in holy matrimony at the Abia Mosque in Kuje, Abuja. Yunusa Suleiman, who witnessed the event, reports that patience was the watchword for the couple.
The mosque was filled with an atmosphere of warmth as family members, friends, colleagues, associates, and well-wishers gathered to witness the wedding Fatiha and offer prayers for the couple. Following the exchange of marital consent between representatives of the groom and bride and the payment of 200,000 naira as bride price, the chief imam of Kuje, Malam Said Ishaq, pronounced the couple husband and wife in accordance with Islamic teachings.
They should be patient with each other and trust all their affairs in God. For us, we are only to be supportive. They should see themselves as blanket to each other.
Marriage is a school of patience. They need to be patient and tolerate each other.
Well, Alhamdulillah, it's indeed a very joyful occasion. However, I must say it must come with mixed feelings. For me, being the firstborn and her being the secondborn, we have been together in our own life for 26 years. So we have shared our challenges, our happy memories, and everything in the end, every challenge has invariably ended up as a happy one.
So Alhamdulillah, we give thanks to Allah. I feel delighted and I'm happy definitely because it's a dream come true for everyone to see himself married. So Allah bless it and grant us the best.
After the prayers, the bride's family hosted guests to a reception with an array of delicacies. The hall was filled with conversations and laughter as guests celebrated the couple, praying that their marriage will bring strength, happiness, and growth to both families.
And we say, Amen. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Thank you and welcome back. Now, how, or should I say, why would a father throw his two children from a 3-story building? Now, that question remains at the center of a shocking incident in Abia State. You know what? Against all odds, the two children survived the fall and are receiving medical care, as investigators are also working to establish what happened. Grace Nana report is presented from our studio.
At the center of the incident are 34-year-old Onyebuchi Isaiah and his 21-year-old wife, Naza. Residents say the couple had lived in the area for about 2 years but kept to themselves. They also said the couple's 3 children, who previously attended a nearby school, had not returned to classes since the beginning of the year, a development now viewed as a possible warning sign.
For the little I've known him, when he comes to barb in my shop, the kind of odor that comes out from his body, all kind of scent, perfume, all those spiritual things. So I keep hearing complaints from the neighbors. Most times when they wake up, they see these fetish things spread around the yard.
2 children aged 4 and 2 who were allegedly thrown from a 3-story building by their father, who later jumped from the same building, survived and were receiving treatment for their injuries. Hospital authorities did not grant access for interviews, limiting visuals to long shots. Days after the incident, residents have resumed their daily activities, but many are still trying to understand what led to it. Some eyewitnesses said the suspects displayed unusual behavior before the incident, raising questions about whether there were signs of distress that went unnoticed.
He was exhibiting some signs of madness. Even before then, he sent a voice note on our yard platform where he was saying that he's experiencing that people are gathering in the yard around his house, pointing at his flat, that whatsoever that happened, that they should hold his wife responsible.
I heard he just came out, he was running. He ran somewhere and entered under the gate. They were like, what is chasing you? He said they are chasing him. There wasn't anybody.
The Abia State Police Command has confirmed the incident. In a telephone interview, the police public relations officer Maureen Chinaka said,
"So we took him to the hospital and we are taking his treatment. As we speak with you, we are investigating. He's also at the hospital where he's taking treatment and investigation is ongoing."
The eldest child has now been discharged and the younger has been referred to a higher level health facility for further treatment of injuries sustained in the incident. The incident has prompted renewed calls for greater community awareness and early intervention when signs of distress are observed.
Quite unfortunate. Now, unfortunately, 3 children in our next report did not live to tell the story of what led to their deaths, as their lifeless bodies were found in the home of a woman alleged to be a native doctor in Idani community, Idemili North local government area of Anambra State. Now, according to a report, another child was also found unconscious in the same compound. Chiyan Kuje visited the scene of the incident and now reports for Newsline.
What could have turned a place once associated with livelihood and healing into the scene of a heartbreaking tragedy? Authorities are still searching for answers after the lifeless bodies of 3 children were discovered in a compound at Umuodoba village, Idani, in the North local government area of Anambra State. Another child was found unconscious and rescued. In the meantime, police are yet to officially disclose the identities, ages, or relationship of the deceased children and the survivor. The rescued child is receiving medical attention, while the bodies of the deceased have been deposited in a morgue for autopsy.
From the story I heard, my mother cooked. That was onubu soup. I'm not living with them. I'm living separately. I was called after the incident. She took her own home. And they bring back our own and left their own for them to share. According to the investigation, there are 9 in number in the building, like in this entire farm now. So the children themselves shared everything among them. So later on, they went to somebody's house for Saraka. I don't know how the person gets to reach them. From the information I get, they went to sleep. The incident happened.
The compound is said to belong to a woman known in the community for rearing pigs, poultry, and fish, as well as administering traditional medicine for certain ailments. The usually peaceful community has been enveloped in uncertainty.
Some say the children took chemical. Some say the kids go where then they do salaka. Some say one thing or another. Okay, I ask, what of the woman living here with them? People say she's not alarmed. She left this place at the night before the thing was happening.
The youth of our community and the entire Idanians, we are not happy about what happened because we haven't seen such.
The President General of Idani Community and Secretary of Idemili North Local Government Area, Mr. Paul Okoye, condemns the incident and appealed to residents to remain calm and avoid speculation.
What may have happened to the people? People are speculating maybe it's food poisoning or something they ate, but it's only the police will tell us, okay, after their investigation.
The Police Public Relations Officer of the Anambra State Police Command said detectives have commenced a comprehensive investigation to unravel the circumstances surrounding the deaths.
And from the information we were gathered, these children were under a custody of a self-acclaimed woman pastor that she normally used these children for her domestic chores. And we want to use this opportunity to let parents and guardians know that they should always do their checks in order to know who they are leaving their children for.
As investigations continue, there is renewed call for parents and guardians to remain vigilant and prioritize the safety and welfare of their children.
Now, there are moments when an ordinary day becomes a very painful turning point in a family's life. Now, such is the painful reality confronting the family of Mrs. Regina Nwoye of Okputowite, Umeiri, who was brutally murdered in broad daylight at her residence. Franklin Onyekachi brings us an update on the case and as police work to unravel the circumstances surrounding her killing.
June 14, 2026 started like any other day for the Nwoye family of Obuivite Umeiri. But before the day ended, tragedy struck. According to members of the family, 65-year-old Mrs. Regina Nwoye was murdered at her residence in Obuivite Umeiri, Anambra East Local Government Area of Anambra State. News of the killing spread quickly, but for the family, the loss remains difficult to accept. When the Newsline crew visited the family, they were still trying to come to terms with her death. Mrs. Nwoye had been living in the family house until about 2 years ago when her children built a new house for her. It was in that house that she was killed. The family says she was attacked and stabbed several times. Neighbors who responded to her cries reportedly apprehended a suspect identified as Sunday Okolo. He was handed over to the Udogachi security and later transferred to the police.
When I came out, I peeped. I saw a guy dragging her because the woman is already down. So the guy was dragging her from, with her legs.
When we reached police, they said that they cannot take our complaint. I was asking them, is it not police station? They said no, that the local government chairman has given Udogachi. I told them that the case is his own case, that they should take the boy to Oka.
The family believes the suspect may not have acted alone. They also say nothing was taken from the house, leaving them questioning the motive for the killing.
Can't keep Mama run. You know, thief anything.
But something strange happened along the way. Instead of going to the police, they said the local government chairman asked for him to be taken to Udogachi. Up until now, we don't know the reason for that. The question is, who killed our mother? Why?
The police public relations officer of the Anambra State Police Command, SP Tochukwu Ikenga, addresses the allegation.
Police, not being the first responder, is also working with details of what we have with us. And the guy has been in custody of the local vigilantes before we were able to take over this suspect. And currently now, I know that the Criminal Investigation Department, State CID, is doing everything possible to make sure that most of the facts or most of the comments that people have made. But I am sure that we will make sure that justice is served.
For the Nwoye family, the priority now is to know what happened to their mother and ensure that those responsible are brought to justice.
From Abia to Idani to Okwibite in Umeiri, Newsline will continue to bring you details of this story. We will stay on these stories and bring you further developments. Please stay with us.
The promotion of data-driven governance is the focus of conversation on NTA Tuesday Live on the 11th of August 2026. Data-driven governance and economy in line with global best practices for the improvement of economic transformation for all Nigerians. These and much more on the program. NTA Tuesday Live comes up every Tuesday at 10:30 p.m. Incisive and educative. Don't miss it.
Are you ready? Join us on Reshaping Democracy, a groundbreaking program on the network service of the NTA, where citizens get the chance to ask ministers, heads of ministerial departments, agencies, and other top government officials questions on their performance and delivery of mandates. With no sector of limits, conversations build around bridging communication gaps for feedback and effect as our guests engage with the people they serve.
How does ND foster partnerships with organizations, government agencies, NGOs, among others?
As our leaders give account to citizens' inquiries on good governance, tune in to Reshaping Democracy, a creative concept coming up every Tuesday evening at 10:05 p.m.
This is Reshaping Democracy.
Welcome back. You know, on Newsline, we have always told the stories of remarkable persons with disabilities who refuse to let their physical challenges define their destiny. Rather than surrender to despair, they have chosen dignity over dependency. Tonight, we'll journey to Maiduguri to meet 45-year-old Mohammed Fali, who is transforming his disability into ability through shoemaking and shoe repair, guided by the belief that the hand that works is worth more than the mouth that only begs. Omar Jimbararima has more.
Some people see disability as the end of opportunity, others see it as the beginning of a different journey. Mohammed Fali belongs to the second group. Losing a limb at a young age changes the course of life. To some, it closes doors, but for Mohammed, it becomes a reason to create new ones. Living in a modest one-room apartment with his wife, daughter, and siblings, he faces the daily realities of financial hardship. Yet, he refuses to allow his physical condition to define his future. He chooses dignity in labor, believing that every honest means of livelihood deserves respect. Every morning, Mohammed pedals his specially adapted tricycle for nearly 2 hours, traveling about 7 kilometers from his home along the Mboa Road to his workplace, where he makes and repairs shoes. Whether under the scorching sun or in the rain, he makes the journey with one purpose: to earn living and provide for his family through honest work. Without a workshop of his own, Mohammed operates from a small space in front of a tailor's shop. The space is limited, but his commitment is not. Customers continue to patronize him because of his skill, honesty, and dedication. Neighbors and fellow artisans described him as humble, reliable, and hardworking.
It has been a long time since we started giving him our shoe repairs, and he has never failed us even once. He always keeps his promise.
He is always dedicated and honest person who works hard to feed his family through thick and thin. He remains committed.
Mohammed Fali says his greatest challenge is the lack of modern tools, a permanent workshop, and financial support to expand his business. He believes that with better equipment and a suitable workspace, he can increase his income, train young people, especially persons living with disabilities, and help them become self-reliant instead of depending on charity.
My workshop used to be at the post office before the construction of the flyover. We were given a short notice to relocate. Since then, I have had no means to get another workshop.
which is why I am currently squatting in front of a tailor's shop just to keep my business running. Despite the hardship, we thank God. Mohammed says disability does not take away purpose. He believes the real limitation begins only when a person gives up. His message to other persons living with disabilities is to look beyond their condition, develop their skills, and embrace honest work. To him, true ability is not measured by physical strength, but by the determination to keep moving despite life's challenges.
All right, now sometimes distance does not weaken the ties that bind us, to our homes. It only makes us even stronger. And that is the case for 16-year-old Munachi Ajanwachuku. Being raised far from Nigeria has not diminished his connection to his roots. Instead, it has deepened his love for his country of his heritage, and fueled a dream that burns brightly in his heart. And Bade Adeleye tells us the inspiring story of this young dreamer chasing football ambitions while, of course, carrying Nigeria in his ears.
Some, the journey to becoming a footballer begins with a childhood dream. For Munachi Ajanwachuku, it began almost as soon as he could walk. At just 3 years, his father introduced him to football, registering him with Houston Dynamo. But before then, Munachi had already been exposed to different sports. And as we walked and talked, it quickly became evident that football was more than just a game to him. It was a calling.
At first, I wanted to be a goalkeeper because their jersey stood out to me when I was younger, and I always interacted with the goalkeepers. But that's when I became forward, where my dad taught me how to score from anywhere. And I was a household name in Houston. The point I decided where I wanted to be a professional footballer is probably when I was 8 and I got scouted to the World Challenge in Real Madrid. I fell in love with the game at that point, and I wanted to do it for the rest of my career professionally.
And professional football is exactly where the 16-year-old is headed. A winger and striker, Munachi brings together pace, technical ability, and eye for goal. His development has taken him through respected football programs, including Houston Dynamo FC, Austin FC, Getafe FC, Songusat FC, and KS Academy. And his football education has stretched across continents, from the United States to Spain, Nigeria, Canada, and Colombia. Along the way, he has tested himself against some of the biggest youth academies, including Getafe, Villarreal, and Espanyol.
I want to be playing in first team in La Liga or anywhere, but I'm expected to be at the top. I'm signing for Getafe Academy in September.
For Munachi, the biggest goal is not measured by the number of goals he scores for his club. It is measured by the shirt he hopes to wear one day. Munachi proudly speaks about his ancestral roots and his desire to represent the country of his heritage. And his dream starts with the Golden Eaglets of Nigeria.
Cha-cha-cha, Ibu Kwenu. I'm an Igbo boy from Ibonyi, Oposi. And the things I like about Nigeria is, number one, the food. I love jollof rice and fufu. My favorite soup is vegetable, and I really love Nigeria. So the reason I want to play for Nigeria is because it's my fatherland.
Talking about inspiration, Cristiano Ronaldo is his role model. Munachi is simply a teenager enjoying the journey. He loves to travel, he enjoys photography, and when he's not chasing his football dreams, he finds time to hang out with friends and family. At the European International School of Barcelona, is also pursuing his education with another dream waiting beyond the football pitch: chemical engineering.
He's been a wonderful chap that has kept the parents up their sleeves, and they're very busy with him to make sure that he gets to the top and of the ladder in his career and his profession.
From a 3-year-old introduced to the game in Houston to a 16-year-old with international experience and ambitions of wearing Nigeria's colors and playing on the biggest stages in world football, Munachi is one young Nigerian footballer worth keeping an eye on.
You know, sometimes we mistake a comma for a full stop, but don't put a full stop where life has only placed a comma. And as for Newsline, the full stop is not yet in sight, but for now, we are simply applying a comma. Before I hand your evening back to you, here's my two-cover piece for the week. It is the last strike of the hammer that breaks the stone. But do we really know which strike will be the last? Think about it. Good night, everyone.